Hi, I'm Mamta Narula, radio host, MC, and storyteller. After 25 years connecting with audiences on EBC radio and at major South Asian events, I'm excited to bring you Moments with Mamta. This podcast shares real conversations about the moments that shape us, stories of growth, grit, and inspiration. Thank you for listening and welcome to Moments with Mamta. It is such a pleasure to have one of those acclaimed names in the world of culinary, and the culinary. I would not say culinary schools, but culinary anything to do with food, restaurants or private caterings or private chef or elegant events to all these big foundations that he has been part of. It is an absolute pleasure to have Chef Prasad me here on Moments with Mamta. So welcome, Chef.
Thank you, Mamta. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, it's quite an honor. Looking at your accomplishments, I feel like I'm blessed to talk to you.
Oh, well, thank you. And I feel way more blessed to talking to you. So tell me something. If somebody was to ask, who is Chef Prasad? How would you describe yourself?
Chef Prasad is a very simple man, has a passion for hospitality, has a passion for food. So, food and people is my business. And I've traveled a long way from born and raised in Hyderabad in India. Went to Pune uh, for a hotel restaurant school. I'm a family of doctors. I always say this. But I always tell the doctors take care of people, so I do take care of people. And I didn't want to become a doctor because I've seen every family member being a doctor, including my own father. And I said, I'll try something, new. So, somehow maybe talking to a couple of class buddies or friends or whatever, they said, like, yeah, the hotel management is a lot of fun where you can actually, have a beer and, have a lot of fun with a lot of people. I said, that sounds like me. So I ended up going to Pune in India back in
Okay.
early 80s, I'd say. So from there, you know what, not knowing, my young age back then what I would become. So I suddenly became a people's person. Luckily, I've had many uh, jobs, many restaurants, became an entrepreneur, a teacher, a mentor. I love food. I love people, and I stood my ground and stayed in this beautiful nutmeg state called Connecticut, and never left. I came in '86, and obviously, I've had many ups and downs, and I've learned from both sides, from ups and downs, and today, I'm still comfortable. I'm still strong. I'm not a young kid, but I have a lot of experience. And
You're a mature young kid.
I am sure. Yes, yes.
So tell me one thing. Coming from doctor's family, I'm sure a very organic move for you would have been to become a doctor, and that's I assume your family also expected you to do. So what was your reaction when you chose a path totally different?
Well, I probably would think it's not my reaction. I mean, I want to say what's my parents' reaction. Uh, the first thing it comes out of their mouth is like, "What? You want to become a cook?" You know. So back then, obviously, first and foremost, Indian food was not the forte of, even though we have a lot of culture, a lot of history with Indian cuisine, from the ancient ages in India. But every kid on the block want to become a French chef or a continental chef or so on, because of the five-star, hotel scene and all that. So obviously, the parents' immediate question was, really, don't tell me you want to become a cook. And that's where they left me. And I said, if that's what you think, but that's what I want to do. And today, probably they're more proud that I'm not a doctor and I'm actually taking care of a lot of people. Uh, Fast forward after so many years, I have something. It is not totally official, but I've been getting some pretty extensive communications from India, from a very large organization, and the call is that I would be honored as an honorary doctorate, which they claim, as far as the organization which is actually pitching me this, I would be the second human being from India ever to receive that. And this will be worldwide recognized by the levels of prime ministers and presidents of the countries and so on. So, uh, on a fa- so
Wow, so congratulations.
thank you. So on a family table now, I can look at my parents' eyes and say, and family saying, listen, you know, I probably am getting a piece of paper. It says a doctorate.
So tell me, chef, how was your childhood? Like, how about those growing up years? I know food came very late in the business, but then
Yeah.
let's talk about your childhood.
Yeah. Uh, the childhood was, as far as my memory goes back, and I'm not a young fellow, as I said, but I still have a lot of good memories. My father being a doctor and my mom being a homemaker. We have a very small family to begin with. It's my father, my mother, and I have one sister. So she's 2 years younger from me. So this was our family. And growing up, I mean, as a kid, I still remember the wonderful food what my mom makes. You know, that's my biggest memory of thing. And also, I also remember a lot of moments where my father, obviously wants to date my mom or want to go out on movies and so on and so on. That's their form of entertainment. They would leave us at home with uncles and aunts, and but back then we never had babysitters, so called. It's always family. And they would leave us, to stay home and all that. It so happened that even though my dad is a doctor, I think the affordability was still a question, and he gave up his local job where he was going from city of Hyderabad to local domestic in Andhra Pradesh. He was traveling to get better jobs and better money, but it was still never enough. So he had to at some point uh, leave India and go to Iran as a doctor there, so he could make more money and send home the money. And my mom would stay with us 6 months, and she would go 6 months to Iran. We never went to India. I mean, to Iran, myself or my sister. But a lot of those memories are still lingering, like, putting a stool in the kitchen and watching my mom cook. Or I go out to a movie. I'm kind of trying to see, like, what did she make yesterday? Maybe I can copy that and maybe steam some rice or maybe make a dosa or a idli or something like that. So, I would watch her. And also I think every my father comes from a vegetarian side of the family. My mom comes from a non-vegetarian where they would eat chicken and meat and all that. And my mom is a fantastic cook, so we had a lot of cousins and everybody else come home, or my father's friends would come home. My father started eating meat and all that. So I have a lot of good memories about food in general from my mom's cooking. Obviously, I mean, I'm from Hyderabad, but I want to call myself a foodie. But, when we go on streets from, having kebabs to charts, things like that was my favorite thing. I mean, I was never into continental cuisine, or we could not afford to go to French restaurants and all that. So those are, I mean, I have, quite a few other memories of, spending time with friends and going to cafeterias, the Irani chais, and then all the fun stuff what we used to do. So
They used to have Irani chais in Hyderabad as well.
oh, big time, big time, big time.
Oh, okay. I thought Irani chai is more Bombay.
No, not really, because if you typically like, I think Hyderabad alone had pretty decent amount of Muslim population, and we had Charminar and all these people. So the Persian settlement, whatever happened, we had a lot of cafes, kind of Minar cafes, kind of different names, like you know, practically we had tenants at home who were also Persians who used to live in our dad's place. So there was pretty good amount of from the Nawab family and all that, probably had that Persian contacts, whatever. So we've had many, 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 like Lucky Cafe and all these things where the chai is like, pauna cup, like a small cups, bun mas.
I love this name Pona. After a long time, I'm hearing somebody use this word. In Pona, I thought was always a very Punjabi word. We used to say
Uh,
pada cup, ek cup.
no, But Pona Cup we used to order with one by two on top of that. That one.
Oh, yeah, of course. Pona is just like a shot, right? It's just a taster. So,
Exactly.
so tell me when you completed your hotel management and now what was next? Was it a job at a hotel or a restaurant? How was those early days here?
Yeah, so the early days, back in the 80s when I graduated was 85. So I'm a batch of 85 from Pune. Uh, while going to college, we actually did administrative management training, what we call. We were lucky enough to go to hotels like Oberoi's and Taj and Farias and Bombay Pune Road and all that. So we train a little bit. And for me, don't count me as the best student. I was the most funnest student, but I also was a kind of a rowdy in my own time back then. So I'm still in my early 20s, I think 21, 22. The guy looks at me, it's like, looks like you have the passion and what are you doing here? I work for he's from Delhi and he's very flamboyant, very forward guy. He said like I'm running a hotel and I'm looking for an F&B director. Um, and I see you in me, so you want to join me. So I said, let me come and talk to you. So my immediate management trainee became position. I joined this guy in a hotel. It was not quite the 5-star, but it's still a 4-star kind of a hotel with multiple banquet facilities, multiple restaurants, bars, 250 rooms, 200 people working. The guy offers me saying that you're going to live up on the suite. You'll have a driver at disposal. Here are the keys to the hotel suite. 24-hour job. Basically, you're on call, but at the same time, you get to live here and it is a paycheck. This is what you're going to make. And he gave me a carte blanche job and I took it. Between you and me, I mean, if I probably did not really know what I know now, obviously, but I kind of learned myself quickly on the job, I would say. I mean, I don't think I was qualified to be that position, but I think the confidence what he gave me, and then I made every effort to make it successful. But this is all short, very short lived because I'm still a young graduate, a year and a half into the business of really in the practical field. It so happened that I had an opportunity to leave India. Not leave, but definitely not leave, I should not say. But I had a call from a friend who went to class with me. She said, hey, I have this very unique pass to go to a vacation. It would include like Germany, Italy, and US. And back then, and even now, I would say the visas are always an issue. I said, well, me from a South India boy, barely have a passport. I said, if I get a visa, I would love to take that vacation. And somehow we pulled off the visa. And next thing I'm on a vacation to US and having, US, went to Vatican, Italy and Frankfurt, Germany and all that. Oh, was a good extended, when in India, we don't believe in 1 week's vacation. We believe in a month's vacation or something like that. So I finished my month. I go back to the hotel. Um, this Mr. Nanda, Praveen Nanda, I still remember his name after, 45 years or whatever my life is. Uh, he actually was kind of startled saying that, oh, you went on a vacation, but you came back. I said, what do you mean, sir? He said, yeah, people who go to America, things really generally they don't come back because it's kind of a lifestyle and a land of opportunity kind of a thing. I said, you just giving me an idea. You're telling me to go back, and I said, I'm not suggesting, but I was surprised to see you back. I said, but that threw me a little seed in my head. You know what? I still have the visa in my hand. Let me talk to my parents and see what they think about it. And I made that move in 1986. I came in here thinking, you know what, a young graduate, got about a year and a half's worth of experience in this 5-star, 4-star hotels. Wearing all these, blue suits and chauffeur-driven cars, quarters kind of a thing. And I thought, oh, that's great. So, you get, accommodation. So when I walked to the accommodation, I found out it's like a, 1-bedroom place with about 10 people living in there. I'm like, welcome to America. So my favorite thing to say at that time was, America is, good from far and far from good.
Oh yeah, well that's a good quote. Especially at those times, right? I don't know what people say when they move into this country, the country of dreams and opportunities today. But back then, because there was everything was so limited, the options were limited. Today, I would assume the opportunities are a lot, right, compared to what it was in 1980s.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I also, you know what, on the hindsight, from what I do today, I actually thank my slow growth. I won't say like, it's not like I took a high position right away. I think that kind of actually, it was very hard to begin with because, I'm kind of, almost picking up dirty plates from, tables and everybody's, on top of you kind of a thing. And you're kind of, going to the dishwasher, almost literally washing dishes and things like that. But I think what I like to actually say that, and I actually thank from what happened to me back then, is like that actually taught me every level of steps what I do. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but I'm a hospitality guy. Give me a hotel, give me a restaurant. I think I know the nuts and bolts of that because I've actually worked from every level, uh, being into the busing, into dishing, into prep cooks, and becoming waiters to bartending, whether it's handling cash, handling technology, and handling management, cooking into, and then coming into at some point into a sous chef, into a chef level. So I kind of graduated on every page of the book.
So basically, with Akbar, your journey into the culinary scene here in America started. Yeah, and then I would assume that because you did all of those things, you're basically like a startup, right? You ran everything from lower jobs to the higher ones, and today where you are, we will talk about that as well. Yeah. How did you handle the challenges over the course of time until you actually became successful?
Yeah. So within the company, Akbar at some point, like as I said, I was in a bussing in the kitchens. I mean, bussing in the dining room and all that. Since I didn't really have a relationship with many friends or anything else, or no transportation kind of a issue for me back then. This is again week two, right? I'm still near in America, and I'm actually saying, you know what, the restaurant closed at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock after lunch. I'm not doing anything, but I would actually sneak into the kitchen and I'm talking to the cooks there. Hey, you guys need extra help? I'm here. So I'm kind of, peeling onions and, because I've had some background in the kitchens too. So I said, let me kind of do that. So I became a free help to the kitchen. They loved it. And I think they also observed a couple of people in the kitchen to the senior level of the guys. Back then, everybody, who would cook, food would call themselves a chef, but the guy who was in charge then said, like, looks like you like the kitchen. You want to work in the kitchen. I said, absolutely, I would love to. So I kind of, from busboy, go into a cook's position, learning, from them on what they do in America, how they kind of, from basics to advanced cooking and all that. So I showed pretty good interest. And I think that's the same year Akbar was trying to open a restaurant in New York City. And because of my communication skills and my kind of background of knowledge on the food and all that, they kind of, quickly promoted slash offered me kind of a number two of a kitchen opening in New York City. I mean, I actually know, I remember all the names who were working back then. Of course, I know Ian Malhotra, I know Pradeep Malhotras. These are all my bosses, which we are friends today. I'm proud of that. Uh, the call was basically saying that from Connecticut, this guy is trying to open a restaurant, but I have no idea. This guy was in electronic business, he said. And I need somebody, who knows the kind of the business. So I think my guy who's, my boss back then, probably want me out of the company. In a good way and a bad way. So but I could be a threat, maybe. I don't know. So
Okay.
So I was recommended highly, saying that I have Prasad in here. I think his kind of some background is Connecticut. His cousin lives there or whatever. So he lived in Connecticut for a few days. So you want to talk to him. That's how the introduction was made. So I'm also learning at the same time. Don't forget, I was still in my early 20s.
So tell me one thing. This is very interesting. So you're like starting from scratch to where it's leading. I can see the very interesting journey here. So all around, right? I'm sure there must be very challenges. So there must be emotional challenges. There must be financial challenges. Whatever number of challenges that a person can assume at that stage of life. What is your personality like? How do you handle those situations where something is not going as per your interest or your desires? How do you handle those challenges and the failures?
The challenges are this is what I faced initially, that nobody wants to take a role of a chef, for example. Everybody wants to be, the hero of the business or whatever. Uh, so that's a great question, Big, what you've asked. And how I became a chef actually answers that question directly. So I'm developing menus, I'm developing recipes. I'm kind of, I'm the face of the business in the front, but I'm also the guy who's actually doing all the work in the back, kind of briefing and debriefing, and how the colors, the texture, the design, and all that. It so happened that Indian food still is very, very, very immature in America in general. Even take New York City and all, Connecticut, forget about it. I mean, it's like we are middle of nowhere, right? So uh, I thought the scene was very sad. The scene was very bad. There's no pride. There's no cleanliness. There's nothing else. So I made myself a challenge to myself, saying that I'm going to live by this, and I'm going to put this food on the map. Not just the food, but also the hospitality, the culture, the 5-star experience, what I'm used to, in my college and my young days of my India. Uh, One of the biggest challenges is like every time a media would like to talk to us, or somebody wants to question anything else, no cook ever wants to dress up or talk. Uh, they're used to the lazy habits. They're used to chalta, you know what? I really don't care. They really didn't know what it meant. So that kind of pushed me to another level, saying that, you know what, I'm doing all this work and I can speak. I know the ingredients, I know the recipes, I know the structure of the food and hospitality. I said, let me start putting the white coat on. And that's when I kind of became, an overall person, from a consultant, from a general manager or manager of a restaurant. Now I'm becoming a chef. While I'm doing that, I'm also training other cooks and all that. And my challenge was biggest challenge is also getting the right help. I could have, it's like I always say, having a wine list or a big menu or a fancy menu or a creative menu, you need multiple hands. And that was another problem. We also,
So this was which year when you actually opened your first restaurant?
I'm still actually and this is in 88 into early 90.
Okay.
I'm still working with a second consulting company. And that's when I became a minor paper partner, like, 10% kind of a deal. Uh, so just starting to make my name. The New York Times is recognizing me. They're writing a little bit about us here and there. So now from Prasad became a Chef Prasad kind of a thing. Initial introduction is happening. I think in 92, somewhere there, I went to a town called Westport, Connecticut, 92, 93. Didn't have a lot of money. Probably had, 10 or $15,000 in my bank, but I have this, to put a $250,000 restaurant, for example. Now I'm going knocking at the door from a cousin to a friend to a client, whatever. Okay, here is 10,000, here is 5,000. So I'm taking, multiple partners. So 93 was my first real opening. Was actually called the Bombay Bar and Grill, where I actually did another restaurant from scratch to turnkey. And but I had, multiple partners, multiple problems. So
The problem. But tell me one thing, in addition to all the problems, how was the support from the community? Because by that time you had a bit of a name for yourself. Like you said, Prasad became Chef Prasad. So how was the response? How was the support from the community or the people that they knew you? Or I'm sure by that time people would have been catering from you and they've tasted what Chef
yep.
Prasad's food would be.
Yeah. So that was probably the easier part, I want to say. the community, because of the the county where I am, there is well-traveled people. I always said this food is for people who've traveled. It's just not meat and potatoes, because nobody knows. It's like, they've never tried this. But I always said also, if not for Jewish and English, there would be no Indian food in America. You know, I mean, these were my initial clients. I want to say, Americans are, Americans are third in my line, but the Jewish people, the British, the Brits, the English people, I mean, they loved the concepts what I was putting in.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. And that's very quick.
It's very quick, and because you know why, I like to go into their kitchens and do see what they're doing. And London opened my eyes bigger than India, honestly. I mean, I was like shocked from the variety of food, the regional food. That's when they're starting. So you know what? I'm a well-read guy, and I know what. So I come back to America. Fast forward from my couple of restaurants into Bombay Bar and Grill. Now I'm forming a bigger group, a very international group, and my goal was back then, and this is now we are quickly into the early 90s. Uh, my goal was, you know what? Put me a team together. I will open a restaurant, 6 months a restaurant throughout New England. I mean, I didn't want to go to New York City back then. I just was comfortable where I was, Westchester maybe, but definitely Connecticut, maybe into Massachusetts a little bit. And I actually put menus. People will laugh at me sometimes. And for example, I put my mom's chicken curry on the menu, and I called it my mother's Andhra chicken curry. And we gave the butter chicken run for its money, because if every dish sold chicken masala, we sold a dish of Andhra chicken. So I've actually started the regional cuisine back then, and we picked up Bengali cuisine, Rajasthani cuisine. We went into Kerala, we went into Andhra, we went into Punjab, Maharashtrian. I explored more and more, and I actually made menus segregated, you know, from this part of the country, this part of the country, and that's when I was, and media was my best friend. And I actually get psyched. Actually, when you study in marketing, if I'm not in my hospitality side of the business, I would have born as a marketing guy. Because
You have actually answered my next question, because I was not a question but a comment kind of, right? Because what I'm hearing and understanding that you have marketed yourself very well. Your food is marketed very well, be it word of mouth, or be it your own connections, and the way you get into people's kitchens is just amazing. So, and marketing is the key, right? So, I think you got it very right that your next second profession would have been a marketer.
absolutely, I mean, obviously, we didn't have social media and all that stuff. Nothing. The only other avenue was, if the New York Times, calls us that they're rating us, something like that. But there was really nothing. There was no websites. There's no marketing angle back then. I said, like, listen, maybe I want to put a marketing group together where we would actually promote other restaurants and all that. But anyway, uh,
That's great. So, so tell me one thing. So now, years later, I've also read and I know about you that you have been associated with very acclaimed foundations, one of them being James Beard. You're mentioned in many other publications. So how has that part of your journey been, wherein now you're getting I think your dues, and you are all over the place. So how does it feel, and what were your reactions when you were being called to serve that kind of a community?
yeah, so it's funny. Before I was talking to you, I just opened an email a customer actually sent me, and I'll forward that email to you. It's again, for me, I actually call that the awards, and whether it's New York Times, the James Beard, and I've been honored twice by the James Beard House. I've not received an award itself, because I've also never pushed the buttons on that level. But I think this year we are, hoping the nomination would go through, because I'm 62 and stronger than ever before,
Awesome! Yay! I like it.
Yeah, and then uh, I have had. I mean, for me, you know what? I mean, in a nutshell, what I want, in one word, I have for that, all the awards and all the names and all the good stuff, all the charity events I work with. I call it, that's my paycheck. You know, I also said, like, it's the hardest job in the planet is to be in the restaurant business. I say, you know why? I'm the first one in and the last one out and the last one to get paid. But how I get paid, I mean, many times we don't have enough money in the bank, and I'll be honest with you. But my paycheck is, when there's emails from clients, when there are mentions on the media, when the New York Times gave us 3 stars, which is not easy to achieve in Indian business. And hopefully the honorary doctorate comes from India, that one. Hopefully the James Beard nominations come through. And over the time, I've also became the biggest collaborator. So this is probably, I don't know if you have read about this one, but I am about 4 years back, I started this saying that, you know what, my life journey is going to turn this into a legacy of my own. I want to cook with all the chefs. I actually know them by name, but never really worked with. And I started calling one of the top chefs from Bravo, who's on Food Network and all. He's a good buddy, he's a good friend, Tyler Anderson, great chef. I said, Tyler, I'm thinking about this idea. I want to start something called collaborations. And I think nowadays it's actually more in the fad. Like a lot of people are doing that. I was probably one of the initial guys, especially in Connecticut. And Tyler said, it's a great idea. I said, you'll be my first chef. So I have been there. And fast forward 48 months now, I probably had 50 chefs come and cook with me every single month. I throw down a party. It's called the Chef Collaborations. And uh, I'm blessed and lucky. Like I've cooked with, for example, Renee. She was last year, 2024, nominated for the top chef of America. She made the top 5. And, she cooked with me and she calls me, I'm the true goat. Uh, I've actually had who won the best chef Northeast last year, which I'm actually hoping I'll be nominated, forget about even winning, is David Stanridge. And he owns a restaurant called Shipwright's Daughter in Mystic, Connecticut. And David was, when we spoke about it, like, Chef, you kidding me? I mean, I'm waiting for you to call me for the collaborations. I've cooked with him. And I've
How lovely. So all these chefs come to your kitchen?
your in my kitchen, and people actually also ask me, like, what kind of chef are you? Let anybody come and cook with you? I said, listen, I got nothing to hide. I can only learn, I can only teach at this point. So for
Absolutely.
life legacy. So the collaborations have a meaning. It's first and foremost, I might know Mamta, like you and me met, and I know your name, you know my name. But I think if you give me 24 hours of your time and I give you 24 hours of my time, we know our life history.
That's true.
What we're doing, what we're doing tomorrow. So when we cook together, we can't be talking about food all the time. We talk about life, we talk about legacy, we talk about business, we talk about everything else. We help each other, right? I tell people 40 years of my life, I've been cooking Friday, Saturday, Sunday behind the walls while you're all enjoying your time. I've been cooking behind where nobody sees me what I'm doing, right? But now I do these parties on a Thursday night because Friday, Saturday, I want to be like you, sit outside and have fun somewhere else. So we keep people all in the community tables where we are cooking, and we put people together who they've never met before. So we collaborate between a client to a client, and the clients are also meeting me. A client's also meeting my invited chef. So the collaboration is really happening.
And I'm loving it. So I also feel that, it really doesn't matter. Why would you not call an Indian chef who's who has a name for himself? End of the day, it is a collaboration, right? You all are going to benefit. And in fact, your clients are going to benefit because there'll be more different curation, more variety. It's not just what your restaurant is serving. So I think it's just awesome. I'd like to try that.
You're invited.
So tell me one thing, Chef Prasad. So right now, how many restaurants do you have in Connecticut?
So I just have 2 left now. So I think in 2017, I had 8 running at the same time. As of now, we have the chef. It's called the Chef Prasad in New Canaan. They were there for 25 years, and that's a very boutique, small, beautiful restaurant. The decor is fantastic. It's more very personal to me. It's like my living room, I call it. No, we're doing a lot of catering, and we also won the Caterer of the Year award last year. So we are #1 caterers for all the weddings and all that in Connecticut now. And more recently, I've launched another project called Gourmet United, which has a couple of kitchens, which has a full-blown Indian kitchen and a full-blown Mexican kitchen. So it has 2 kitchens where we operate our daily business, and also we support our catering services from there. We have a couple of trucks, and we actually launched a new mobile kitchen called the Spicecraft that will go to people's homes and hotels and mansions and venues and all that. So that'll be another extension of me. And besides that, as I said, like I consult with the Biltmore Estate, which is again, as an immigrant story, I've known when I came in '86. Now the largest home in America invites me to, they pays me to stay with them. So
That's amazing, amazing. And then congratulations, because what a journey you've had. It is very inspiring. What would you say to all these young talent, right, who want to get into food business and who are either studying or they aspire to, they're passionate about it? Just as per your motto in life, in this part of your journey, what would you like to tell them or guide them or comment them?
my first guidance would be only do it if you have the passion for it. That's number one. I mean, if you don't have the passion, you're not going to win on that. And secondly, no shortcuts. You got to do your research. You got to know who your competition is. You got to know who's the next creator is. So it's good to follow other people what they're doing to them. And one of the weakest project of thing what I see within my own community is none of my growing young chefs and cooks, things like that, they really don't know what the hell is going on outside. So it's fantastic to learn from internationally what's happening, whether it's in England, whether it's Dubai, whether it's in India, whether it's in America alone. Uh, you always have to really see what's going on and be honest to yourself, and uh, you really have to take it seriously. I can sit down and talk to the 8 hours, 10 hours is not going to happen, but you can probably only learn as you go. But I was lucky enough, back in the day, I've always said any ownership I can work for initially, I really didn't work for many people. I said, give me the keys, give me your, what's your vision? Get out. I got the rest handled. I mean, so I think you have to handle your position very maturely, build a team, be passionate. And if you think you're going to go into this business for a lot of money, forget about it. Don't come in.
All right. So I think that should be the final comment here.
Okay.
Don't just see money coming in, right? First, work hard. Be true passionate about this work, feeding people, creating some very interesting curations, and money will come later.
Money follows you.
Money follows through. It was lovely to talk to Chef Prasad. There is so much to learn. I think you've always been very confident and mature in your approach. That has led you to where you are today. I'm very, very impressed, and I'm sure this is going to inspire and motivate many others who are going to listen to this podcast. So thank you so much for joining Moments with Mamta. These were really, really memorable.
Thank you so much, and I hope to see you as my guest at one of the collaborations. So I'll send you.
You got it.
Okay?
Thank you very much. I look forward.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for joining me on Moments with Mamta. If today's conversation inspired you, please follow, share, and stay connected for more meaningful stories. Until next time, this is Mamta signing off.